I have something really cool to say before starting this review. I know someone that's in this movie. My friend Sophia was an extra, and she actually gets a close up in the trailer and in the movie. You know the GIF on that's trending right now with Ghostbusters, the actress that has the sunglasses and pulls them down on the beach scene. You see in the trailer. Yeah, that's my friend. Yeah, I know her. She's a great actress, super talented, and if you're watching this, Sophia, you're the best extra I've seen in a movie all year. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire stars Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, and McKenna Grace, and it's about when the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. From the director of Monster House, who also co-wrote this movie with Jason Reitman, which Jason Reitman did direct and co-write Afterlife, which I really liked. Ghostbusters Afterlife was a huge shock for me because I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan. I'm not a die-hard fan. Like, I know a lot of people that say the first one is the top 5 comedy of all time. The first one's iconic, it's great, it's very funny, but it's just not one of like my personal favorites. So with this movie, I was intrigued to see the new cast and old cast back in New York City, so I could see a lot of Ghostbusters fans really loving this movie. I can say I definitely enjoyed it. This is a good time at the movie theater. This is definitely like a spring kind of movie, a big blockbuster movie. Like I saw it with a good crowd that was definitely Ghostbusters fans. And I can say this, I mean, I was entertained. Like I enjoyed the movie experience of a Ghostbusters movie with some really cool CGI, a few little spooky scenes there and there. The comedy really didn't hit that much for me, but most end, I gotta say Paul Rudd was the one that brought the most comedy in this movie. Everyone loves Paul Rudd, and you could tell in this movie that, like, hey, Paul Rudd's a Ghostbuster, man, and he was having fun with this movie. McKenna Grace, who was a standout in Afterlife, she continues her character in this movie. She's very good in this movie. Definitely doing that teenage story of, like, I'm 15 years old, I want to be a Ghostbuster, but they're all like, you're a kid, you need to, like, stay home, do this stuff, be a teenager. They do that storyline, which you've seen 1,000 times. But hey, I think the core family with Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon, who are her mom, and Paul Rudd's trying to be like the new dad in the family, that's a nice little story. And McKenna Grace has a really nice friendship that she builds in this movie that I don't want to spoil because it's not in the trailers, that I really liked. And the idea of it is really cool. And what they explore with the entire lore of Ghostbusters and her, I thought was really cool. I thought there was something different. It was exploring more than just, hey, another cash grab sequel. Like, they felt like they were trying for that storyline. We'll get more into the other ones. But I think most part that when it comes to McKenna Grace's character, she is like the best round character. You also have a really cool villain. I think the entire third act is really cool. Lots of CGI, but the villain's look is really cool, and the villainous aspects of it very much take over the world. But like, it was cool. Like it was definitely a cool looking villain. I like the powers and such. The background is really like ancient ghost take over New York. That's basically it. Then with that being said, like I said, it's entertaining. Got cool CGI. Got some funny moments. But in the end, this script is really a bit of a mess, and it comes down to just characters. There's 15 plus characters in this movie. And like the best example, like there's a lot I could talk about with like this kind of stuff. Big thing. Finn Wolfhard. He's obviously the son in the family. He needs to be in the movie. He has nothing to do in this movie. He has a subplot with Slimer that is literally no purpose to this movie. You get complete Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and everyone from the old cast returning. None of them feel very important at all, especially Bill Murray. He's in this movie for 8 minutes, and he is walking through his performance. Like, do not expect a lot of Bill Murray. And when it comes to the two friends from the first one, they're both doing internships with the Ghostbusters company, basically. They feel so extra, like you didn't need them in this story. There's tons of stuff like that in this movie, and every scene is a new development of a character, of a background. And then you got Kumail Nanjiani, who his character, I can't really spoil anything about, but he's very key into the story, and how they play off his character as a joke, and then important, and then actually very important. It's very badly written in my opinion, and he had a few chuckles, but like his character was just like we've seen this before in a certain movie. It's called Ghostbusters, without spoiling it. Also, when you get more into like the family dynamic, I really like the Paul Rudd storyline of him trying to be a dad. Yeah, that entire storyline for an hour and 55-minute movie is probably 8 minutes of this movie. There's a lot of just nostalgia stuff, Ghostbusters stuff. I mean, there are scenes in this movie that are literally nothing but, hey, Ghostbusters, nostalgia, which I get. I mean, listen, when Jurassic World came out, I was a sucker for it. I was like, oh my god, it's so awesome, so cool. But I realize what they're doing, and hopefully Ghostbusters fans can realize that, like, hey, they did that for the fans, which no problem with. You did it for the fans. Make the fans happy. That's cool. But as a not diehard Ghostbusters fan, I was like, what was the point of seeing Dan Aykroyd see that ghost in the library? What was the point in that scene? Nothing. It had nothing to do with anything. And my final big critique, it takes a full hour and 10 minutes, I think. I looked at my phone once, and I saw we hit the hour mark, and the actual villainous character isn't really, like, shown or dived into. Like, a full hour of just plot after plot, character after character, popping up on screen, next scene, next shot, next scene, next shot, character, nostalgia. It was a messy-ass script, but it's still a fun movie. It's very well made. There's some chuckles. There's some good scares, like the opening scene I really enjoyed. And in the end, I would say if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you're going to love it more than most. Most people who like me, who just isn't a big Ghostbusters fan, I enjoyed it, but definitely not my favorite. I'm going to give Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a C+. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. I think it's a mess of a movie that's very enjoyably to watch. Seriously, this is definitely a good movie theater movie. It feels like the first, like, spring, almost summer feel kind of movie, because my crowd really was into this movie, which is awesome to see. I really enjoy seeing that kind of stuff. And if you guys enjoyed this movie review, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.